Alright, in this video we're going to see how to get the deployed web app on Azure App Service to work with the Cosmos DB server that we just created. As you're probably familiar with, best practice would say don't put this connection string inside of the code, because many different reasons, one of them being security. Now I did this just for demonstration purposes. Generally what you would do is you would put that in an environment variable. And in Linux, you would say something like export Mongo DB, or actually this would be Cosmos DB connection string equals. I'll just get this here, cut that, and paste it. Oh, I see. I got to export Cosmos DB connection string equals. I need to put it in quotes because it's got all those different symbols in there. Now I can say env, which will get all of my environment variables, and look for Cosmos, and you'll see that it is indeed in there. What I can do now is import the OS module from the Python standard library. And instead of hard coding the connection string, I can now os env environ.get cosmos db connection string, and that will retrieve a environment variable with the value cosmos db connection string. So if I save this and cd back into MemPy and flask run again, open in the browser, and everything's going to appear to work the same. In fact, I can go over here, comment with envvar, comment, and if I go back over here and refresh and look at the document again, so as you can see, everything's still working. All we did was move the connection string from being hard-coded to an environment variable. However, how would we do this on Azure App Service? Because we don't have access to a terminal that we can log into and create an environment variable. And plus, we'd have to set up something that when the application restarts, that environment variable is set again. Well, as I already showed you in an earlier video, go over here to our resource group, and the web app is inside of the resource group. Go to this configuration section. We can create application settings, which are exposed as environment variables. So all I would need to do is create a new application setting over here. Call it Cosmos DB connection string. Then I'll open up a new portal window. I'll go to the Cosmos DB connection strings, copy that connection string as the value, and then click OK. And here it's created the Cosmos DB connection string for me. Now, you have to save before this will take place. Many times in the portal, just editing a value or changing a setting will automatically save it. Not so with the app service, because this will restart, as it says here. It will restart your application. And this only takes a few seconds. I'm not speeding this one up. See, it's already done. So now I can deploy this application to Azure App Service again with the database code, and it's going to look now on the server for environment variable Cosmos DB connection string. And I just want to check real quick to make sure Cosmos DB connection string. Yes, I use the same one. So this should now work on the Azure App Service. So I'll go back over to my Azure tab, and I will get my web app and say deploy to web app and browse to MemPy, OK, and deploy. And this one I'm not going to wait through. I will go ahead and speed this up. Now with that complete, I'll click Browse Website and tell it that I do want to open it. And I'll go ahead and speed this up as well. Alright, we have an error. Now it turns out I knew this was going to happen because I wanted to show you how to read the logs from within inside of Visual Studio Code. Because again, we don't have access to the server. So if you expand the web app and then go down to Logs and connect to Log Stream, then you'll be able to see the logs on the server. If scroll up, be able to see what the problem is. Right here. It says that no module named PyMongo. Now why might that be? Well, it turns out that, like I said, I knew what was going to happen, and I did this on purpose. In the requirements.txt file, I left out PyMongo. So if I add PyMongo, that's all I have to do. I can go back over to App Service and I can redeploy. And again, select the folder, MemPy, and I'll go ahead and speed up the video through this so you don't have to wait through it again. With that deployment complete, I can now go over to my web app, right click on it, browse website, tell it to open, and here we have MemPy blog, first post again, and here are the comments that I created on the instance with Azure Cosmos DB. But it's using the Azure websites.net domain. So we know that this is all running on Azure now. Now the complete blog is running on Azure. The database is running on Azure. In the next video, I'll show you how to add sentiment analysis to the comments with the Azure Cognitive Service language service.